All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. We've had a little conversation before we've gotten started, but we were kind of going through what the format was. And really what we want to start with is basically two things. Number one, what is this video about? What's the problem that we're trying to solve? Because as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't have asked these amazing women to spend some time with us today if I didn't think there was a problem that they are qualified to help you solve. And they are both freakishly qualified, and I'm freakishly impressed with both of them. And so I'm honored that they both agreed to be on this call today. Crazy honored. So what is the problem? The problem the problem isn't that I get maybe a half a dozen people that reach out to me per week and say, hey, by the way, I'm crazy skilled and you crazy need help and you should hire me. And the way that they approach me, I'm just going to say, is less than professional. It's less than impressive. And quite frankly, I don't think they're putting their best foot forward. And so if you're going to do anything, why not do something in a way that it's freakishly effective? And if you're going to be freakishly effective, I think these two women have presented themselves and shown themselves in this industry when they approach people, freakishly effective, professional, talented, and like, I can't wait to get a hold of them when they reach out to me. And so I want to ask them a couple questions that would help the average person that's reaching out to people looking for work. They're hoping, whether it is contract work, whether it is to join a team, whether it is to help people provide leverage for them for projects. These women do that amazingly. But the fact is, you got to get the job first. And if you don't put your best foot forward on the first impression that you're throwing out to me or anybody else that's looking to hire, come on, it's never going to happen. You're not going to be able to put your best foot forward on a job if you can't get the job. Okay. And I will give one last example of what I'm used to seeing. Now, I have a lot of examples, and it was really hard pressed for me not to actually pull up the examples on the screen. And I'm not doing it out of courtesy to the people that, the half a dozen people that do this to me a week, is I don't want you to see who they are. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but I wish I could show you exactly what these messages look like to me. You can tell that they're not even focusing on me and what my possible needs are. I don't even think they even understand my business even a little. And when I get the message, number one, they may as well be texting me. They can't write and format in anything that looks professional. There's no capitals where there should be capitals. There's no punctuation where there should be punctuations. And then when they put my name in, it's usually one of two things I see. You can tell that it's an email template that they're using. And instead of saying, hello, David, or hello, Mr. Breckheimer, or anything like that, it says, hello, insert name here. What? Are you kidding me? Insert name here? That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. The next thing that I see is, hi, at David Breckheimer. It's my Instagram thing. They didn't even take the time. They just cut, copied, and pasted. Well, here's 50 Instagram pages and accounts I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this out to. And they don't even convert it to, they never looked at my website. They don't even know what my real name is. They don't even know if I'm the right person to contact or anything else like that. The format that they're sending me these things to, there's no purpose, there's no intention, and I don't feel like they're truly reaching out to me in any way, shape, or form. What they're doing is a philosophy that I just have no respect for. It's kind of, in the US, I've heard it my whole life, is throw as much mud against the wall as possible and see what sticks. Not impressed. Not impressed. That's squirrel, by the way. That's my squirrel. Okay, so and Chrixy knows squirrel extremely well. That's my personal assistant, our pup, and she's a cancer survivor and just got her stitches out this week. So go squirrel. So if she can get that excited, I'm fired up right now. So here's the deal is, I'm going to ask the two of you 3 questions. Number one, if you're going to put your best foot forward, what tools and resources or examples or work completed, resumes, testimonials would you recommend that you always have ready to share with someone that you may be reaching out to interview with? Second question, how would you prepare before reaching out to someone you're hoping to interview with? There's more to that question, but that's the basics. And the third one is, what type of follow-up, if any, would you recommend that someone have after making that initial contact? So we're going to go through those. We have a couple bonus questions after that if we have time. But Neha, we recently met simply because you reached out to me, and I'm like, all right, this is how you show up. This is how you show up. And when you reached out to me, did I almost immediately reach back out to you?
You did. And I was not expecting a response.
Okay. Number two, whether I was looking for work or not, I hope someone hears who needs to hear this next statement. Even if I wasn't hiring right now, was I impressed with you enough that even though I'm not hiring, I still reached out with you and still wanted to talk to you? Why? Why would I still want to talk to you if I'm not hiring?
Because you told me the way I wrote the email, how I expressed my experience, and I have the resume up to date. I have all the testimonials, which made me stand out from the others.
Yep.
And on top of that, I spelled your name correctly. I referenced you correctly. And there was no grammatical mistakes. So it was a great feedback to hear from you.
So I wanted to give you all that feedback, but let's just be honest. Sometimes I'm not hiring and I still reach out to someone, and that's because I'm a small business coach. And the fact is whoever you reach out to, even if they're not hiring, you have no idea who they know. Was I able to help you find someone that could bring you business and help provide an income for you almost immediately?
You did.
Yeah.
And I'm still working with her. She's amazing.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
And I'll just tell you this is whether I was hiring her or not, that when you put your best foot forward, I'm impressed enough to reach out to you, even if I'm not hiring. I hope someone hears that, because the fact is, whoever you reach out to, you have no idea what size network that they have and who they may connect you with. Okay. She was able to find work within a day or two of her reaching out to me, even though I wasn't hiring.
That's amazing.
Okay. And why are you reaching out to people? You're looking for work. Okay.
Right.
So, Neha, I'm going to start with you. Is based on that first question we had. Okay. Is I can pull it up, and I'm more than happy to do a screen share. Would you like me to pull up the email that you've got and the testimonials that you sent to me, or what direction would you like to go to help guide someone on what are some first steps? How would you prepare? What tools, resources, examples, or work completed resumes, testimonials would you recommend that you always have ready to share with someone that you may be reaching out to? What would help you to ensure that you are putting your best foot forward? How do you want to start this conversation?
I mean, I'm happy to, if you want to share your screen and show the email that I have sent, because you never know, any other VA watching this, it might help them to put their best step forward, and maybe it can be a good start for them.
Okay. So this is your email. And a couple things that I constantly bring up in emails is formatting matters. Okay. The fact is you didn't know me well enough to know if you sent me a long email, whether I would actually take the time to read it. Okay. So what you did is you formatted it very professionally. You made sure that the things that might interest me were actually formatted in a way I couldn't miss them if I wanted to. Okay. You knew that I work with small business owners, which my primary clients are independent TCs, realtors. I came from the mortgage business, all of those types of things. You know that the clients that I work with actually work with all of these different tools. I mean, you kind of threw it in my face. Okay. Breckheimer, I know that these things are things that are in your realm, and I can't miss these if I want to. My site is actually all Kajabi based. My education tools are all Kajabi based. And then you had the nerve to send me a link to a Google Drive with a bunch of video recorded testimonials, not where I've just got written testimonials, but I have, 7 or so of these, 7 or 8 of these where it's people with their spirit, their soul, their passion about you, bragging on you. Okay. And then you give me a resume. Okay. Was this something that was a little bit of learn as you go, where maybe you showed up a different way a year or two ago and this is where you are now? Or is this kind of the way that you started and you said, this is just what I should be doing right off the bat? Was this a growing for you, or what was this?
No, it was learn as I grow. I wasn't the same person I was maybe 3-4 years back. Like when I started, I was a rookie. I was a newbie. I didn't know anything at all about this industry. A great agent in California helped me, taught me everything, and showed me the potential and told me that I could be the one and I can do it.
Yep.
And I think this is all trial and error.
Okay.
I send the simple emails, then I know that people will not just trust your words. You have to have some testimonials.
Yeah.
I am not able to collect all the testimonials. Not everyone is happy to share or don't have time, but I tried my best. And I collected them all in a drive. And I know if I share my testimonials, they will speak for my work.
Yes.
Because again, there are hundreds or thousands of VA reaching out to every single TC or an agent, and they don't know who to trust. So there has to be something that can step you aside from them. And then all the tools that I have mentioned, it's just not I learned them in a day. It took me some time, and I am still learning them. Every week I take some time aside of my regular hours to learn a new technology, to see if what has been updated, like A-Frame has so many updates, Open to Close has so many updates.
Yep.
It's so important to keep yourself up to date. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to function as a VA or to help a client. And I think this is what I will suggest any new VA or a VA in the industry. It's very important to work on yourself. No matter how busy you are, no matter how experienced you are, it is always important to learn and update yourself. And
Amen.
then obviously show that in your CV or portfolio or whatever you create for your clients, but showcase your skills.
Yep. And the person that I had helped connect you with, that you're now doing work with, she probably doesn't want me showing your email address and your phone number and everything else like that. But here's the thing is, I'm proud of the way that you showed up. I'm proud of the way that you present yourself. And if anybody wants to connect with you, I'm telling you, it's worth their while. So from there is your client testimonials. And now, Chrixy, I'm going to show yours. I'm going to ask you the same question. Okay. So this is what Chrixy sent me. Now, Chrixy, how many years ago did we start working together? Is it going to be a total of 4 in December or 3?
Yeah, it's pre-pandemic, December 2020. I have the date, December 28th, 2020.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're 100% right. It was right before the new year. So it's going to be 4 years in December, and we still continue to work on things together. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And here's the thing is, this is what she sent me. Okay. Someone had brought her name up. Now, Neha, I had brought your name up to someone else.
Yes.
This is why I'm telling people, put your best foot forward. The person you're reaching out to may not be the person you get hired by, but they may lead you to someone. So I led Neha to someone else. Someone led me to Chrixy. Okay. And what she's got on here, oh, look at that. Look at all that Cultivate Win stuff. Gosh, I love you, Chris. Okay, that's all my stuff. Okay, so the fact is she has a website that shows all the different tools, skills, everything else that she has done. Okay, now that's just one page, but I can page through these things and go, okay, what does she do for video production? And she's got full pages just on, oh, there's my company name again. Gosh, I love you, Chrixy. Okay, so you just keep posting my name everywhere. I love it. But she's got tons of examples of the amazing work that she's done. And I'm not going to go through every page of your website. But Chrixy, Talk to me. Where's your mind in regards to that first question? What tools, resources, examples, or work completed resumes, testimonials would you recommend that you always have ready to share? And you obviously have it ready to share because you just said, you know what? I don't need to keep sharing this. I'm just going to throw it all on a website. What's your mindset around some of this for the person that maybe is not at this level yet to put their best foot forward? What would you recommend?
Yep. Well, first of all, I missed having this conversations with you on video and on record. And a lot of my answers that I prepared, they're very, very cultivate wins, failed. The 5x5 and stuff like that are always on my mind and my core values and principles, professionally and personally. So I've first things first, whenever I'm asked to introduce myself, I always mention three things. Something
Okay.
personal about myself, that I married the love of my life at 26, and I'm a new mom. I always love telling people a part of my personal life because of course there should always be communication both on personal and professional.
Yep.
When you work with people, that's one part of the thing that you're giving. So
You humanize it.
yes, you humanize it. So it's
Yep.
always good to start like that. And then second
Yep.
of all, I always mention my expertise. So I'm an expert at social media marketing and email marketing. But take note, before I can say that, before I can confidently pronounce that these are my expertise, I had to go through a lot of experiences. Just like what Neha said, you always continue to work on yourself. So you
Mm-hmm.
always put your to be able to give your best foot forward and to be able to give your best value, you have to work on yourself, you have to continue learning. So I needed to be specific about the offer or the services that I give. And knowing those two things will definitely help me be an expert better because I know how
Yeah.
to I know what to learn, I know what to study. Just like what you said about reading a book, you can become an expert if you read a couple of books regularly on a yearly basis. So something
Yeah.
like that. And then I also mentioned that in a holistic manner, I'm a digital marketing strategist. So for social media and email marketing to work, you have to have a holistic approach at everything. So this is one thing that I learned at Cultivate Wins. Always, always audit your tools and your systems. So for
Yes.
me to get those two things at a high level, you have to go back to the basics, to the foundation. And all
Yeah.
of these things you can actually see in my portfolio. So that's my answer. I put everything I learned in my portfolio. And then just as Neha said, let your work speak for you. And as you go
Yeah.
through that portfolio, you're gonna see there's so much that I had to learn, the tools, the skill set. And if you ask me how why are you gonna choose me? One thing I would say is if you visit my portfolio, I've had so many experiences about so many tools. Even if you give me something to learn about, because I already know the back end of it, it's
Yep.
gonna be a very easy study for me. So my
Yeah.
portfolio will say a lot about me, even if I don't say so many things.
Yeah. And if people are listening, neither one of these two had a chance to meet before this call, talk before this call, prepare these answers, but there's some similarity between the two of them. Okay.
Yes.
And there's real value in noticing some of that. They both talked about continued learning and personal development. They both, if you look at Neha's email versus Chrixy, your website, they both list out all the different tools that all the people that they
True.
would like to say they reach out to me. They're listing out tools that are relevant to my work. They're listing out tools that are relevant to the clients I work with. They're listing out tools that I have to know that you have a basis of knowledge in. But Chrixy, you said something that I want to pull out a bit, and that is this. Don't just list those tools because you've looked on the website of that tool. Don't go list a
True.
tool because you were asked to log into it once. Don't overstate your case.
That's true.
Okay. You got to know that if you're getting hired based on something that you shared with them, that you can actually perform in those things.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Actually, if you check the website, you see the stars in there. That's the level of expertise I have on each of the skills and the tools.
and I love that she does that. So both of you listed out tools that you're comfortable with. Chrixy on her site does take it one step farther where it's like, okay, here's all the tools. By the way, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars or whatever, here's where my level of experience is or comfortability or whatever knowledge. So I love that. Are you guys okay if we go on to a second question?
Of course,
Neha,
yeah.
are you ready for this?
I
Okay.
am.
All right, because if you had more, I don't want to cut you off. Is number 2, how would you prepare before reaching out to or interviewing a potential opportunity? What would help you to ensure that you are putting your best foot forward? What's your mindset around something like that?
Okay, so both are different but kind of similar in a way. So
Okay.
if I am reaching out to someone, I just don't like Google their information and then email them. Rather, I check their website to see what all they do, what services they provide, what areas they serve, and
Okay.
to see their online presence. Do they have a LinkedIn? Do they have a Facebook? Do they have an Instagram? How often they post? Maybe there is a chance for me to help them with the social media. If they're posting regularly, to see what kind of content they are posting, maybe something that I can help with. And it also helps me to know the person more.
Yeah.
And then I email them, letting them know. Let's say I Google someone, I found them, I know they do list to close, they do contract to close, and I know that I can help. And they are in the areas that I have already worked with, let's say Colorado or Texas. So I mentioned that in my email that, hey, I'm reaching out to you to see if you're looking for a VA. I saw on your website that you serve these areas, and I have worked on these areas, know their contracts, I know their disclosures, and does not need any training. Maybe wondering if you're looking to hire or something like that. So I try my best to, it does not look like a generic email that has been sent out to everyone. I try
Yep.
my best that it's tailored and specific to that client only. Also, if someone is reaching out to me, I try my best over the email when they reach out to ask the questions that what kind of services you're looking for, because I offer a wide variety of services. I'm not just an admin VA, I'm a web designer too.
Yeah.
I also help with the marketing. So then I'm not sure what, so it will help me know or prepare myself for the interview to know if, what kind of skills that you're looking for. And sometimes I mention that in my email because they never know what I can do for them. So I tell them that I can be your admin assistant, I can be your personal VA. I can also help you with the rebranding. I can also help you with the website designing. Or I can also help you with the automations or setting up a new system. And sometimes the client replies, okay, this is what I'm thinking, but maybe we can discuss more over the call. But it gives me a good start. It gives me something to talk about when we start the interview. And
Mhm.
rather than go blank on the call and the client does not know what to ask for or how to start, I can take the initiative. I can run that interview. I can showcase my experience and can answer their questions before they even ask them. So this is what I do. I mean, when you reach out, chances are very slim that someone will reply. And then there are very thinner chances that someone shows the interest. But if they do, I mean, I try my best to let them know, hey, this is just not the email. This is just not my words. I'm happy
Yep.
to do a trial. I mean, no one wants to free work, but I mean, I'm happy to do the trial. I'm happy to sign up for a free few hours so that you can trust me, so that we can know that if it's we both are fit for each other, so that it's just not my email or simple words that I committed. Then it's the work that will speak for myself. And I know, David, when I met you, I told you the same, that you don't have to trust me. It will be my work which will stand out, which will
Yep.
speak for myself. And I also told you that if I commit something, I will not let you down. Either I won't promise it, I won't do it, or if I take that on, I will never let you down. And
Yeah.
this is for everyone, not just for you. And this is what I do. I prepare myself. Doesn't matter if it's an outreach, doesn't matter if they will respond back. It's for me. I mean, you never know, like you said, who is looking for you, and maybe they don't know you exist. So take every opportunity that
Yeah.
it's your last chance, and that's what I do. And same goes for people that I have the interview scheduled, but I try to have a questionnaire before the interview that I can get the answers to. And this is what I have done, and this is what I'm doing right now. It's simple
Okay.
but working for me.
Can I pull a few things out of there?
Sure.
Okay. And then, Chrixy, I'm going to ask the same thing of you. Okay, a couple things is, number one, do I know that everything that she just said she did before she reached out to me? I've got a pretty good impression she did. And part of the reason why is the way that she actually also wrote the email. There was nothing in there that was included that didn't feel that it was relevant to me, what I do, what I need, what I use, everything. And then there was one extra thing. I don't know that you actually said this in what you just said, but it's something I noticed because it stuck out to me. I knew she had looked at and that she knows how I'm showing up on social media. How do I know that? She actually knew who was part of my network. That stuck out to me. I'm like, huh. She has actually looked into me, because she actually said in reference, by the way, I've also worked, and then she mentioned someone that she's worked with and done work with that is part of my network. How does she know that that would interest me? Why even include that in an email? She's done her homework is what she's done. Okay. She's done her homework. Now, the next thing that I'm going to point out that you said that has huge value to me, that not everybody agrees with, but anybody who knows me knows that this has huge value. And I don't expect that you would have known this before you offered it. If you did, great, perfect. But even if you didn't, it had huge value to me, and I'll promote it to anybody. Is you can either hope to get the job based on your skill set of interviews, your skill set of being a great talker, your skill set of being a great salesperson on selling yourself, okay? Or you can sell yourself by just betting on you. How do I bet on me? I do so much free work, it's ridiculous. Chrixy, do I do a bit of free work? Okay.
Sometimes too much.
Yeah, okay. So, and I've heard that quite a bit too. The fact is I do a lot of free work. I'm not trying to sell people on using me. I will take free calls all the time. I will do free work. I will do free service. I've done so many free coaching calls, it's not even funny. Here's the thing is, number one, I just kind of enjoy it. There are no strings attached. I just get to serve at the highest level. But here's the thing is, I also have a level of confidence. I'm more confident in what I can provide through service than I am confident in how good of a salesperson I am to convince people to work with me. So if you give me an opportunity to either sell you on using me, or let me get in there and just do something for you, and let's just see two things. Number one, can I perform at a high enough level that you'll be impressed? And what else do I get to do when I do free work for them? I get to see if this is even a good fit for either one of us or both of us. That's huge to me. Okay. So I really appreciated that you said that. Be willing to bet on yourself and offer to work on a free project, work in a free capacity for a couple hours, minimum. Okay. I'll use that all day long to sell myself because I'll enjoy the work. And I get to find out what it's like to work with them. And they get to see, am I really any good? And I'm willing to bet on that more than I am willing to bet on my ability to be Slick Willie and sell people on me. So I appreciated that you brought that up, Neha. Really appreciated that.
Thank you.
All right, Chrixy, your approach to how would you prepare before reaching out and interviewing with potential opportunity?
I swear, Neha and I didn't talk beforehand, but we have the same answer.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I am gonna use your words. It's all about purpose and purpose and intention. And
100%.
if you have good purpose and you have good intention, it's actually really gonna show. Just like the way you're talking about how you experienced it with Neha. The way that I always say it is come from a place of help. So David rubs off on people, warning, and he has rubbed off on me. That's why I always give free service as well.
Yeah.
So the thing that Neha mentioned is it's all about research. You research about the people you're reaching out to. So even if that's the person who reached out to you, both ways this is gonna work. You research about their business and their social links, and then you find what you can offer, what value you can provide. So there are a
Yep.
couple of things. If you want to take it to a higher level, and I always try to do this first. I schedule a discovery call. And in the
Mhm.
discovery call, I ask the pain points because it's always more effective if
Yeah.
you get that from them. There are a couple of business owners who don't know what they need. And being on the like I'm confidently saying I'm betting on myself that I'm the expert in terms of the marketing, in terms of marketing your business. So
Yep.
um I'm very confident when I ask, okay, what's your pain points? And these can be my recommendations based on the experiences that I've had. So rather
Yep.
than just throwing out, oh, I think this is what you should do, it's better to ask them what's happening, what's your tools, what's your system, what's your
Yep.
goals, based on your priorities, what's the first thing that you should do, what's the first step. So whenever I finish a discovery call, I always include the highlights of the conversation, which is actually already an audit of some sort I give for free. And
Yep.
consultations like that actually cost a lot if you're a marketing strategist. But because I've met David, I always want to serve people, even if it's just a few hours of my time. Just like what Neha said, always try to think of it like this is the last time you can talk to them, so you should provide the best value that you can. So
Yeah.
having that, it also means you research about their side of the business and their goals, and you also
Yep.
research market trends, industry trends, and then you
Mhm.
fit those two together, and then you come up with a plan for them. So even if they push through working with me or not, I've helped them using that
Yep.
audit and then using a recommendation of some sort, like these are the steps, these are the things that you should be doing so that you can provide more value to your clients. So actually this is a realization that when you do this, you're not just impacting one person. You might
Yeah.
actually impact the people that they are serving on their
Yep.
businesses as well. So it's
Yeah.
always a good practice to do that.
Can I switch things around here? Because we've been working with Neha first and then Chrixy. Chrixy,
Mm.
I'm going to stick with you because you just said something that kind of leads us to the next question. Okay. And so I'm going to give my experience of you. And it's based on something that you just said that I've seen in reality over and over and over again for 4 years, which I love, by the way. Not a negative, it's a huge plus. So the third question is, what type of follow-up, if any, would you recommend that someone have after making the initial contact, so on and so forth? Is what Chrixy has done that I know I appreciate like nobody's business is after a call, after a meeting, after anything. I mean, I could put notes together of what we talked about, but my notes are going to look pretty ridiculous next to her notes. My notes are going to have like 5 little bullet points, and hers is going to be a page and a half long. It's ridiculous. Okay. And it's going to talk about what did we talk about? What were our goals with that? What's our action points on that? What's the timeline of that? Blah, 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 blah. And the reason why I say blah, 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 because I also
Wow.
know what's going to hit me next week when I get in a meeting with her. It's like, hey, David, you said you'd have this, this, and this done by Tuesday, and I can't do my job because you didn't get these things done. So I know that that stuff's all coming back to me. Okay. So from a follow-up perspective, I've seen you do that in real time. Is if the time that we're having together has real value, I have found from my experience that I truly appreciate that if our time has real value, you've kind of documented what was it of value that ever came up, what were the follow-up plans, everything, and then you now, we would share them in chat or Slack or whatever. But if you're following up with someone, it was extremely effective with me. It impressed me right away with how you were sharing with me what our time was together. So, what other suggestions? I'm giving you that one suggestion because I don't know if it was on your list to share or not, but it's one I see in real time and it benefits me all day long and I love it.
Mhm.
Uh, What else did you want to share about that, or what about that did you want to share?
Well, that's actually it it's like a flow for me. So the beginning, like pre-work, which is going to be the research, the call, the actual discovery call, and the email afterwards. It's a flow for me. It can't
Okay.
be cut off. So that's why I automatically just jumped into the third question, because I always do follow up. And
Yep.
when I do follow up, there's only one thing that I want to provide. It's going to be clarity. And in that
Thank you.
clarity, there are two things. I might not be the best person for them, but I might have written their job description for them, because I know that I already know what
Yep.
they need.
True.
And if I can't
Yep.
provide that, if I'm not the expert for that, then at least they know who they need. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
first step for them. And it's going to save me a lot of time, because if I'm not the perfect fit for them at that moment, maybe in the future I might be. It saves both of us the time, because if I can't provide the need, for example, if they're looking for a web designer, then Neha might be the best person for them, not me. I do web design. I can design a lot of landing page and stuff. But if it's more complicated, like with coding and everything else, then I'm not gonna be using my time wisely, because I do have other expertise
Yep.
other than that. But if they're more focused on social media, on email marketing, if they need a consultant every week to strategize with them, if they need someone to boss them around a bit, then I might be the person for them. That's why I also provide different packages. So when I talk to people, just like what I did with you, David, I provided you with different price points, and it has different inclusions, because I think
Yep.
that's giving them grace.
Yep.
Not all of the businesses are um funded well. So they
Yep.
have specific budget for the role that they're hiring for. And it's
Yep.
gonna give them some time to adjust if you give them the price points and the inclusions on that price points. Because if this is the only thing that they need, then they can just go with package A. If this is their goal, package
Yeah.
C, but it costs a lot, then they can go with package A and then work it together with you until you upgrade to package C. So it's giving grace to people, because not everybody's in the same position and in the same financial situation. So those are
Yeah.
the two things that I always do when I do the follow-up.
Okay. So you just brought up something I hadn't even thought would come up on today's call, but I'm glad you just brought it up. So I'll mention it from my perspective. Is sometimes we're interviewing with someone and I've got a vision in my head. This is who I want to hire, this is what I want to hire, and this is what my budget is. And when we're talking, all of those things just don't seem to click for me. I like them, I like the work that they do, I'd love to hire them, but when she can come back to me and say, by the way, there's not only one way to work with me, okay, is I do want to let you know, and I would say if you're going to present packages, okay, is I would say break your services down into three options just so that they know we can be flexible here. I think this might be something that we could actually work together, but it doesn't have to look one way.
Mm.
If I was going to just do project work, it could look like this. And I think I could probably bring value doing this. I could make it look like this. I could make it look like this. Give them three different budgets. Give them three different ways of doing it. Is I could be available, 3 days a week for a half day. I could, give them time, give them budgets, give them different types of work that you think that you could still bring them value. Because I may think I'm hiring for this role, and I'm looking for one person that's a Swiss Army knife that can do everything. And I've interviewed 12 people and I can't find my Swiss Army knife. Okay. But if I'm talking she being Chrixy, is freakishly capable in 2 or 3 of those 8 things I'm looking for, that would be wise of her to follow up with me and say, I loved your vision of what you're looking for, and I hope you find it.
Mm.
But of the 12 things that you're looking for in your job description, here are 3 things here. To be honest, I think I could perform at the highest level and I think we'd be a good fit. And here's what that could look like. Here's 3 different ways that that possibly could look like. That may open up my mind to something I hadn't even considered. And that could get you some work. Okay. Now, Chrixy and I, we have worked in a couple different, I'll call it financial ways of looking at things. We've done full-time, 40 hours a week with benefits and everything. We've done project work. Chrixy and I have definitely done this in many different ways. And each time it's worked out real well. Okay. But it doesn't, that doesn't mean it always works. It always looks the same every single time. Okay. Neha, what's your approach to, or your thoughts around what type of follow-up, if any, would you recommend that someone have after making that initial contact?
So what I do in my process, no matter how the discovery call went, no matter if I see we are a good fit or not, or I have a positive vibe or feel like this may not work out, I always send a thank you email. I mention everything that we spoke about and thank them for the time and just a recap of the summary. Because no matter what, it's in my process that I send them a thank you email. It doesn't matter if it was a general call, they were not looking to hire. It doesn't matter, they were just inquiring or they were just curious to know me. The other thing that I do is after the thank you call, some decide to move forward and whatever happened. Some you may not hear back. So if I don't hear back from anyone in a week, I follow up.
Yep.
Because I still want to give them a benefit of doubt. I just don't want to assume anything. So I follow up. And sometimes you get a reply say, hey, I am not ready yet. I'm just too busy. I need to compile a list for my VA so that I can know how we can work together. So I will always ask them, okay, is it okay with you if I can follow up again? And if yes, when can I follow up? So I just want to ask more questions to get clarities to see if still interested and I'm not bothering them, because follow-ups are good, but at the same time, you have to maintain it. You have to make sure that you're not bugging them too much. And in all your emails or follow-ups that you do, you have that professional tone that's not off-putting. So then say, okay, maybe next month or maybe after the mid of the May or so. I always put a reminder for myself to reach out to them in the time frame that they gave me. Because I have noticed not only VAs, but some other business owners, they get a lead, everything is good, but they miss out on the follow-ups. And this is where you miss a huge chunk of your business. Because sometimes it's important to give your client time. Maybe sometimes they want to work with you, but there are other things that are the priorities. So always follow up. So it doesn't matter if they tell me after 6 months, I will still reach out after 6 months. Because you never know. So this is what I do, and this is what I will recommend everyone, that follow up, but don't bug your clients. Maintain the professional tone. Make sure to send them the thank you note. Make sure to stay in touch with them. And even if you're not a good fit, always close on a good note, because you never know when they will reach out to you again for another service. Or maybe the timing was not right, like Chrixy said. Maybe it was just a not right timing when we met. But now I'm in a better position, and now I have the skills that I can work with you. And then that we can nurture the relationship that we were not looking at that time. So this is my recommendation for everyone. And all those feedbacks, all those things that I'm sharing right now, it's from all the personal experience that I had that worked for me. And the feedback that I got from my clients, or the feedback that I got from the other people that are not my clients.
I would say the only thing I would add on that, because if anybody wanted to take this one step further, I'm known for just kind of being open to doing some free work. I love it. I can't help it. Okay. And so if I find a pain point that I'm particularly knowledgeable about and skilled at, I hear that pain point during that call. Come on, If it's something I'm extremely knowledgeable about and skilled at, I could probably knock out a solution for that in almost no time. I may already have a solution for that developed that I've done with another client. And all I've got to do is edit it a little bit, revamp it, and I can reach back out to them. Not only thank them for their time, it was awesome to get together with you. By the way, here's some notes of what I took away from our call, things that we talked about, things that were pain points for you, when you'd like me to follow up, all of those types of things. Also, just as a gift, and I hope you're okay with this, you had mentioned X. And that's actually something that I have worked with a number of times with a number of different clients, and we built some tools around that. So what I did is I took that already pre-existing developed tool, I rebranded it for you based on what I could gather about your business, and I just wanted to offer it up to you. Feel free to use it, abuse it, edit it till your heart's content. But it is just something that I just wanted to offer up. If you don't use it, that's absolutely fine. But I do want to let you know that that is available to you. And it is, this is just a template that you can download, steal it, and tell everyone you invented it. I don't care. Now, Chrixy, how many times have I used that last line? Okay. About 1,000,000 times. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Take whatever I'm giving you. I don't care if I invented it. I don't care if I developed it. I'm telling you right now, it's a template. Download it, edit it till your heart's content, and tell everyone you invented it. I don't care. I just hope it brings you some value. If there's anything else I can do for you, I'm really looking forward to connecting. I will reach out to you in 6 weeks as you had requested, but feel free to reach out to me before then. Don't be afraid to put your best foot forward. And sometimes your best foot forward is the actual work you do. If they have a pain point for work you've already done for other clients that you can use as a template, Chrixy knows this about me. I have a philosophy. The people I work with, come on, we're all human. We're all running small businesses. We all have, generally speaking, a lot of the same problems. If I ever see the same issue come up more than how many times? 3. I'm going to build a tool around it, and it's going to become a template that I can reuse over and over and over and over again. Why would I start from scratch every single time? If it's that common that I've heard that same problem and that same need 3 times or more, why don't you already have a tool built for that and a resource for that? That doesn't even make sense to me, to start from scratch every single time if it's going to be happening that frequently. So same thing. If you're trying to get work with a client, the type of client that you're working with probably has the same problems. If you interview with 8 of those clients, come on, they got a lot of the same problems, a lot of the same needs, a lot of the same things that they're going to need as tools and resources. Why, if you're so qualified to build those things and help them with their business, then why don't you already have a template for that? And why don't you give it to them for free? Okay. My personal opinion, that's taking one step further. Go do some free work. Okay. And if you really look at it, come on, this is a lazy man's suggestion here. That work already exists if you've done this right. It's not like I'm asking you to do a lot of work. It's work that already exists. Okay. So that would be one suggestion that I would say. I agree with both of you on everything you said. And then this would be taking it one step further. Now we got about 5 minutes, no more than 10, to keep this within an hour. So here's what I am going to do is that is the 3 questions. And I'm very grateful to both of you because I honestly think you're going to help someone. We know that I don't care if it's 100 or 1,000 or 5,000 people that watch this video. There might be only 3% of the people that actually watch it, that actually take what is here and apply it. But to that 3%, you're changing lives.
Thank you.
You're changing lives of the person that's looking for the work, and you're changing lives of the people that they ended up working with and for. And that's real value. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I told you there'd be one bonus question. I told you before we got on the call that it would be 3. Doesn't have to be 3. You can say 1. We're short on time, but 1 to 3 is, what are 3 qualities, 1 to 3 qualities, mindset, or approaches that you either look for or have truly appreciated from leaders that you have been hired by? Because you can say, I'm looking for work. And I don't care if you are the right person for the work. That doesn't mean the person that you interview with after you've spent some time with them is the right person for you to work for. Okay. Chris and I have found we work well together. Okay. But if I wasn't a good person for her to work with, that wouldn't have diminished any of the qualities that she has. I just wasn't the right person. Okay, that can happen. So what are some qualities, mindset, or approaches that either that you look for or have truly appreciated in leaders? And what do you feel are 3 qualities or mindset or approaches that you feel that those who have hired you have appreciated after being able to work with you? So either one of those questions, that's about the people you're working for or about yourself. What do you think they've appreciated about you, or what have you appreciated about the leaders you've worked with? Neha, you want to start us off?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I don't know if I have 3, but I'll try. So
1, 2, 3.
the most feedback I got from my clients is about clear communication. They always appreciate how proactive I am. And if something I'm struggling with, if there are instructions that they have given me, but something is not right, or there are some confusions, rather than waiting or sitting idle or wasting the time, I reach out and say, hey, I need more clarification. I
Yep.
know you told me this is how you have to do it, but still I have some questions. Same goes for when you are working for a TC or an agent, everything is about timeline, everything is on deadline, from new contract intakes to the entire contract to close. So it's very important that you communicate. If you're struggling with anything, you let them know at the real time so that it doesn't affect you, your client, and their client. So for me, communication is a must. I try my best to be proactive, even if sometimes there are a lot of TCs who never hired a VA. They don't know how to navigate, they don't know how to work with a VA. So as a VA, it is my responsibility to train them, or rather work with them, to let them know, hey, this is how this relation will going to work. You have to take the in charge.
Keep
You have to
going.
take the
Go ahead, go ahead.
I love Squirrel, but you know, she's all fired up right now, so I'm just going to shut the door for a second. No, I love that. When you said clear communication and deadlines are important, and I think Chrixy, you and I have had a lot of experience with this. With sometimes deadlines, I agree, deadlines are important, but guess what? Life happens without notice, and things come up, and timelines need to change. And that is one thing that I have appreciated in our relationship. We're very open that, yeah, we do have deadlines, we do have timelines, everything else like that. But we also know sometimes those things change. And
I
we're
agree,
very
but
open to communication. And it's not just me telling you that the deadline needs to change. You can reach out to me and say, it's just based on the way things are going, that's not as much of a priority as I think these other things that you've asked me to do. And so I might need to change these deadlines, and not being afraid to reach out to whoever you're hired by and make suggestions of what a more appropriate deadline might be based on, when you gave me that deadline, I didn't have these other 3 projects that now you've thrown on my lap as well. And if I'm going to prioritize them, I think this could be adjusted and it would actually serve our organization better. So I really appreciate you saying that.
yeah.
No doubt.
And again, you have to communicate. I mean, same way, like you said, deadlines are important, but sometimes maybe your client didn't know that it will take this much of time.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you're
I
pushing
appreciate
yourself,
that.
you're pushing the boundaries, but still, it's not possible. So rather than struggling, I would rather reach out and be honest, hey, I can meet the deadline. I need
Yep.
more time. So this is what I do. Then the other thing is maybe open to feedback. Because whenever I work with any client, whenever we do the weekly calls or the monthly calls, I always ask this question: do you have any feedbacks for me? Anything that I can improve in my work? Because it's important for me. Every client is different. And it's not like in 7 years, I haven't met a client who was not happy with my services. I lost some clients. There were times that I was struggling with the client. It's not like I wasn't able to do the work, or it's not they were the bad clients. Things were just not right. Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes you're not the good fit
Happens.
for everyone. But again, I still ask them. I know I will get a negative feedback, but I still ask, what what was the thing that put you off? What I can improve
Mm.
in myself when I onboard a new client. With my current clients, I always ask the same questions. Now, since we have been working for a year or a month or so, what what have you noticed? What suggestions will you give me? Obviously, I get the good feedback. Some say, okay, I know that you're good at it, and why don't we do this? So, I mean, for me, it's very important that I ask my clients about the feedback, even they're not sharing the feedback, because sometimes I have lost the clients initially when I didn't
Yep.
know that, okay, this could be the thing that I have to implement, that I lost them because there was no communication, and you just can't read anyone's mind. And I didn't
Yeah.
know that they were not sharing the feedback, or they're not happy with the services, or they have something built up in back of their mind. And just because we haven't spoken about it, we lost the relationship. So for me, again, it comes down to the communication. It comes down to the feedback. Even if your client is not sharing the feedback, ask them.
Mm.
Always ask something that I can improve. Is there anything that you liked about me? Um, Now that we have been working for so long, what makes me different from the other VAs? Because I know my clients get the emails. They have been reached out by the other VAs, and they always have the open option to go back. Because
Yep.
what I charge, there are other VAs who charge less than me.
Yep.
So, what makes me unique? What makes me stand out? What makes you stay with me? Uh, is the question. So, always ask that. And then I would say respect or empathy, meaning, I mean, like I said, I have lost a lot of clients. It's just not they were bad or I was bad. The timing was not right. So never judge them or never judge their business or what kind of leader they were. Rather, if you see any slight chance that you can still win their business, I try. But
Yep.
if it's not in my boundaries, it's not in my limits, I still tell them, okay, I'm so sorry. I wish you the best. Let me know if something I can help you with. Maybe I can help with the transitioning. Maybe
Yep.
this is something that the last thing that I can do for you, which will make this process a little bit smoother. So never cut your ropes. Always end on the good note. This is, I think, three suggestions from my end.
I love it. And that last one, I know I'm a broken record. Free work. Okay. Here's the deal. When you leave, you know that leader, if you've worked with them for a while, all of a sudden something has changed in their business. They don't have the budget anymore. Whatever the situation is, having empathy for them that they've had to change their situation with
Yes.
employment with you. The fact is you do have a history there. Don't burn any bridges, because here's the thing is you already know what the pain points for that organization are. And if something comes up, I don't care if it's an article, I don't care if it's a new tool. I don't care what it is, but you think it would still benefit them to share that with them or to produce something with them. It could do two things. Number one, you may end up working for that person again at some point or with that person again at some point. Second thing is Neha, was I ready to hire you when you reached out to me? No. Okay.
Yeah.
But did I immediately think of, okay, I'm not ready, but wow, I'm impressed? You don't know when you leave an organization, if you keep that relationship going, where they may refer you to. So take that into consideration. Don't end those relationships.
Right.
Relationships matter
Mhm.
on a personal level, even. Okay. Chrysy, what's your point of view?
My notes, it says in caps lock. It actually encompasses three things as well.
Okay.
It says do not forget culture. So
Hmm.
culture is very important for me. And these three things, they are all inside what I mean when I say culture. And
Okay.
these three things actually answer both questions.
Okay.
What do I look for in
Yep.
the people that I'm working with? And at the same time, what I think they might be impressed about me. So first things first, walking the talk. So whenever I say something, as Nia also mentioned something about this, that you don't over promise and then under deliver. You under promise and then over deliver. That's always the case. And also something about walking the talk. I really need leaders, not bosses, because
Hmm.
leaders give me the space to grow. And when I grow, the company grows as well. So it's always a good thing to grow together. And that only can happen when I can be a leader myself and the people around me are leaders and not bosses. That's a
Yeah.
culture that I'm looking for so that I can see if it's a fit and if I'm a fit
Good.
in there. Second thing would be a culture of trust. As Neha also mentioned, relationship is very important. And in a culture of trust, there will always be empowerment. There will always be eagerness to improve, which is also something Neha mentioned, improvement through feedback. And then
Yeah.
there's always going to be grace and compassion. That's also what Neha said. There's always going to be sympathy, empathy, compassion. So it's very interesting that all of the things that she mentioned also integrates with what I wrote in my notes and what I
100%.
also say. And then the last thing would be the work-life integration. People know this as work-life balance. That's a culture that I need. It's a non-negotiable for me. I need a workplace that can also help me grow in my personal life.
Yeah.
So work-life integration can only happen if I communicate with the people that I'm working with and they communicate back to me. So those three things are applicable both as an employer and as an employee because culture is built based on the people that are in the team. So
Yeah.
that's a very important non-negotiable for me when I decide on working with a person or a team.
I'm grateful for both of you. Just crazy grateful. I'm so grateful also just that you're willing to have these open conversations and put yourselves out there and where your mindset is around all of these areas. And like I said before, I truly believe that we'll have a number of people that watch this and every single one of them could appreciate it. And sometimes that's just a seed. They haven't gotten to the point of application yet, but it's still a seed and it's still going to bring value to their lives and their souls. And it can help them both personally and professionally take the first steps to put their best foot forward. But then there might be 3% that watch these videos that apply these things at the highest level. And here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about down the road, meeting those people and interviewing them
Yeah,
and hearing them bring up your guys' names and how grateful they are for what you had to share today.
that's a very
That's
beautiful vision.
that's fun for
Yeah.
me. That's fun for me. So at this point, everybody, I just want to thank you. I will put both of their contact information down in the description in our YouTube page, which whoever either one of these people are working for at the time will hate that their contact information is in the description because they don't want these people, these crazy talented women stolen away from them. But the fact is, I do appreciate that and they are always open to opportunity as well and deserve to be given the chance of opportunity. So tons of love to everybody. Thank you to both of you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Till next
All right.
time.